I got the Joyetech on my RX. Hello, fellow vapors, Vaping Newbie here, and tonight we're going to be talking about a tank that I picked up and just sort of driving around. I've been enjoying these Clearamizers more than the RBAs of late, and getting lazy. Keep saying that. Getting lazy. Slapping a coil, and here we go. So I'm a big fan of Joyetech. I love their products thus far, so I thought, why not? I picked up the Cubis, and we're going to be looking at that tonight. They're available in so many shops. Joyetech is carried so globally, so go check it out. Let's go down below. We're going to do an unboxing, and I want to look at a few of the features of it and some of the aspects of it. Stick around. Okay, basic white box, picture of the Cubis. It says at the top, Cubis, innovative and leak-resistant cup design. On the other side, it says at the top, Cubis Atomizer, some basic information, and then the contents of the package. It comes in black or stainless steel, or they call it silver. So obviously I got the silver, has some scanning information, and then around it, it just Cubis Atomizer, and of course the Joyetech logo. Now let's open it up and see what's in the package. Okay, lift off the box. Now this was all plastic wrapped when I got it. Inside is a pretty good instruction booklet on the Cubis, and then you have the warranty card or warranty paper with the scratch and sniff authentication sticker on the back, and then a card which on one side it gives you some information on the coil heads as well as filling the tank, and on the other side the wattage variations you should use with each head and how that works. You have the Cubis tank itself. You get a spare drip tip. Now obviously this one is stainless steel. This one is actually, well, we'll take the tank out, put that aside because we'll look at that more in detail, which is why you're here. You get the a plastic drip tip, which I think is nice, so I'll be giving that a go. And then this box of goodies here, and inside this are extra, or the spare coil heads. You get 3 coil heads in this box. If I can get them out, there you go. You got 3 coil heads. Now, very interesting about the coil heads is they don't indicate what is in each one. So basically, you're going to be opening them and checking them unless they're facing properly, in which case you luck out. As well, something interesting, in the packaging, there is no coil head installed, so you get to choose what coil head you're going to use first. And again, that's that crapshoot we were talking about. So let me get this cleaned up. We'll take a closer look at the Cubis tank itself. Okay, I wanted to give you an idea of what it says on the side of the coil. So you see it's BF, Clapton 1.5 ohm, and it's good from 8 to 20 watts. So very low wattage coil, a Clapton coil. And the interior, I'm going to change take a look at the interior of it. It is kind of unique. You see there's threading inside and nothing on the bottom. It's simply a tab, threading and a tab. So let me get that in the tank and we'll take a closer look. Okay, obviously all this, fully stainless steel tank. On the top, right up here, it says Cubis. Underneath, it says Joyetech. Very nice looking tank, all glass. You'll notice, again, no coil head. I got to put a coil head in there. And then if I can get, let me see if I can zoom in and get what that says. There is a maximum line. So you do not, let me see if I can get that closer. You don't want to pour the juice further or past that maximum line. Let me just back it out a bit here. And we take a look at, we remove the top, which just simply unscrews. So everything is in the top. You have the top half of the chimney. Now, when I go to put the coil head in, I'm going to be screwing it in like that, which is kind of unique. I've actually never seen anything like that. You have some good O-rings around there. Again, all stainless steel. On the top, you have an airflow adjustment. So let's see if I can take this apart. I'll come back and give that a whirl. Okay, so that's the insert that I was able to take out, and you just take it apart by unscrewing the drip tip portion, and that whole chimney section pulls out. Put that aside. This is the airflow control ring, and we'll look at that a bit closer. And then you have this section which has the airflow. So you see the airflow there, and then here. So you have all that airflow, and it's all at the top. So let's take a look at the that airflow control ring. Now, there you see those cutouts, if you will, for lack of a better term, that are on either side of that airflow control ring. And that's what is enabling you to use the airflow control. I don't see them cut out. I don't see any, like, you know, usually you have the holes or slots where it's an obvious hole, and I don't see this here. So this is going to be quite interesting to see what the airflow control is really like. Okay, before we fill the tank, I've got some original gangsta here. So I'm going to put in, this is Rude Boy from Economy E-Cigs. And I just want to prime that just a wee bit and set that aside for now. And now, filling the tank. Look, it's that simple. So I'm actually going to do this in a very bizarre way that I normally wouldn't do. Just by holding in, you just pour it in. Now, again, you want to be careful at max line, so I'm not going to quite fill it. I'm just going to put some in there. So I'm still underneath that max line that's there. And I'm going to let that all steep. I'm going to assemble now the coil, as we mentioned before, onto the base of that chimney section. That's all done. Reassemble everything together. And then we're going to let that sit and let all of that steep into the coil head. Okay, we got everything ready. I put it on my RX. Now, I haven't vaped this low wattage in a long time. The coil is reading 1.54, and I'm vaping at 18 watts. It brings me back to an earlier simple time. Okay, enough of that. One of the things that I find extremely fascinating, I'm getting good taste out of it. I'm getting good flavor out of it. I'm using their drip tip, the stainless steel drip tip. But what is flooring me is at 18 watts, I'm getting pretty good vapor production. This is the flavor is very nice. I'm really stunned. I didn't expect it to perform as well as it actually is with a 1.5 ohm coil. So I'm kind of looking forward to the 1 ohm and then the 0.5 ohm stainless steel so I could try it in temperature control mod. We'll take a look at that a bit later. One thing I neglected to mention is the drip tip. It is dual O-rings, and I find really tight. I switched out the stainless steel to just get an idea of what this plastic one is like. It's not bad. I just find that the draw is extremely tight, and this is wide open. But really good flavor, and it's noisy. I don't know if you can hear this. Getting that inhale noise when you're taking the draw. So far so good. I'm going to put in the 0.5 stainless steel coil and try it on temperature control and on power mod and see how that goes. I wanted you to see the 0.50 stainless steel coil head, and you can see it has a spit back screen on it. Not a big fan of these, so I'm hoping that this will work better than the last time I had to use a spit screen. I want to take a moment and let's look at the card that had the information on the coil heads just for a moment. Okay, this is the card that comes with the device, or with the tank rather, and on your right hand side is a list of 3 coils, and then as you go from right to left, it gives you how they rated the coil. So the first coil, which is the 1.5 ohm Cantal build, they gave it in variable wattage, 5 stars in flavor and 5 stars in longevity of the coil head. I want to skip down to the last one, the bottom one, which is a 0.50 ohm coil. And this is a stainless steel coil. Under power mod, they gave it, or power mode, sorry, they gave it 5 stars in flavor, 5 stars in longevity. But I want to zoom in on this if I can, because in temperature control mod, they really, I can't really get it much closer, but you can see here, they gave it 2 stars in flavor and 5 stars in durability. So let's keep that in mind just for a moment. Now I have the coil on my RX. I have it in the stainless steel mode. It is at 520 watts. I'm sorry, 520 degrees at 30 watts. Short pull, temperature kicks in, shuts it down, and the flavor is not bad, but not great. It does have slight vapor, and now I'm just going to put it up to 570 degrees and try that. You get that longer pull. I don't like vaping at 570 degrees on temperature control, but you get that. You get a longer draw, ergo you're getting a better vapor, and you are getting a better flavor. If I put this into power mode, now this is the beauty of stainless steel, is you can use it in both. Let's see how this runs out. I find the flavor is much better in power mode. The vapor production is good, but to me, more importantly, the flavor is much better in power mode. So when you're comparing the two, with the 1.5 and the 0.5, there are going to be obvious differences. But the 1.5, after trying this one, 1.5 ohm coil, it just doesn't cut it for me. Okay, we're going to get to some pros and cons. But first, a personal observation. Actually, all of this is. The card, dear Joyetech, I'm hoping, I'm really hoping somebody's watching this, or somebody can let you know this. But the card that comes with it to explain the variances of the coil heads, the font is incredibly small. I'm 56. I had a hard time reading it. Not all vapors are in their 20s and 30s, so you might want to keep that in mind. Maybe make a larger card, a fold-over card that will give more information in a larger font. Okay, that's just a personal observation. Now let's get to some pros and cons. Okay, let's look at some pros and cons. Or I like to do cons and pros because I don't find a lot of cons at this one. I don't know if you can hear this. That's a gurgling noise. Now I just so we're going to be looking at this as a con. I just put some juice in, watching that maximum line, kept it under that. Put the top section with the coil head back in, let it sit, and hit the button, and I got a lot of juice back in my mouth. What I would tell you to do is to hit the button about 6 times and burn off that excess juice. And when you do, you won't have a problem. This coil head has a spit back screen, but the juice is still coming into my mouth if I don't burn that off. The second part is right here, when you put the thing back in, right here, when you put the thing back in, when you put that whole section back in, there seems to be some juice in there. I think the main reason for that is your natural instinct when you take it out is to turn it upside down, and any juice that's on the chimney will just float down to where the air holes are. So it comes out when you screw it back in, it sort of squeezes it out. So you just wipe that off. It's not the end of the world. And that's really all. I guess I can do one more with the coil head. The 1.5 ohm coil head doesn't have very much airflow. It's very restricted, where the 0.5 with a spitback screen has more airflow. So I don't quite understand that, nor do I have the money to tear them apart and then just replace them. So I don't know what is causing that, but that to me is a con. The pros on this are the opposite of obviously the opposite. That was the most dumbass thing I've ever said. The 0.5 ohm coil is in power mode is working quite well. I found it finicky in temperature control mode. It would shut down, or you'd have to vape it at a very high temperature if you wanted to do any kind of long draw. So I'm using it in power mode, and I'm enjoying it. That's the beauty of stainless steel, is you can use it in power mode. You're getting that really good flavor. And folks, I really want to make sure that I point this out. Before you start using it, prime that coil. And when you get juice in it, let it sit for 5-10 minutes. Just let that coil get saturated with juice. That way you're not going to burn out the coil and cause yourself some grief. So once you have it all set up, filling it up with juice is such a joy. You could do it while it's on the mod. Keeping in mind there is that maximum line. That's very important. It's easy peasy. They call it a cup design. There's no way for it to leak at the bottom because everything is at the top. So unless I'm, again, doing handstands, it shouldn't leak at all. The gurgling noise, again, I'm not quite sure what it is, but it's not, I'm not looking at it as that big a con. You just press that button a few times and you're off to the races. The design of it, like every Joyetech product that I've owned, is superb. They know how to make stuff, folks, and this is no exception. Really, really liking this tank. So it is a high recommendation for me. It is going to be one of my top tanks that I'm going to start using now. Only time will tell about how long the coil heads last, depending, because it's so dependent upon usage, person, wattage, juice. So I don't want to get into that, but overall, it's a massive thumbs up. Estelle, I know yours is on the way, and if you see this video before you get it, take my hints and then give me some feedback down below. Let me know how you like it. And that's it. That is the Joyetech Cubis. It's a massive, massive thumbs up for me, in my opinion. I think it works really, really good. Folks, I hope you got something out of this. You know I love having you over. So please stay healthy and happy vaping. Take care, folks.